Guys,
The attorney.
welcome to the special meeting of the Cicero Town Board here on September 29th. In addition to the board members, we have here with us this evening Tracy Castleman, Gretchen Walter, Kate Fiorello, Steve Atteno, Elko Johans, and Wayne Freeman. Clerk, are you ready?
Yes, thank you.
Please call the roll.
Counselor Boyke. Here. Counselor Carr.
Here.
Counselor White.
Here.
Counselor Bacallo.
Here.
Supervisor Meyer.
Here, thank you. First item, pledge of allegiance, Nancy. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing for a moment of silence for our troops in harm's way.
Thank you. I know we don't have a large contingency here this evening, but for those of you who are regular attenders, you know where the exits are. Please note for the front and the rear of the building. I'm sorry, the room. Next item on the agenda is approval of abstracts. Nancy?
Approval of abstracts. Resolved, the Cicero Town Board approves abstract numbers 37 dated 9/12/21 and number 38 dated 9/22/21.
Second.
Ms. Bacallo, discussion? Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke.
Yes.
Counselor Carr.
Yes.
Counselor White.
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo.
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, item is adopted. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is acknowledging the filing of the Town Cicero 2022 preliminary budget with the Cicero Town Clerk. Resolved, Cicero Town Board acknowledges the filing of the Town Cicero 2022 preliminary budget by the Town Supervisor and the Town Comptroller with the Cicero Town Clerk, and that the Town Clerk has presented it to the Town Board.
Second.
Ms. Boyke, discussion? Okay, generally, there's a message that comes with the preliminary budget, so rather than have a written message, I have a brief statement to make with it. For those who do go to review the preliminary budget, I'm going to kind of go over in a highlight fashion right now, things you will see and things you will not see in the preliminary budget. Okay, what you will not see, I'll start with that first. You'll not see any money associated with COVID relief money coming eventually from Washington, or the infrastructure money, which I assume is eventually going to come. There are no firm rules yet on how that money can be used. And so trying to keep the accounting people happy and good budgeting, you do not overestimate revenue. So we're not going to put the revenue in there until we get the rules. Okay, there will be no grand claims of paving dramatically more roads or doing dramatic increase in drainage work. And then somehow it's telling people that we're going to have property taxes go down. You will not see more borrowing. We have significant borrowing presently right now, and much of that is going to roll off in the next couple of years. So if we can be a little bit patient on the borrowing, we're going to have our financial house much better, much stronger for the next few years. Okay, what you will see. What you will see is we have a format that frankly, I believe is easier to read for the board members and for the public to be able to review the budget when they look at it. There's a 1.99% tax increase, property tax increase. Okay, there are no pay increases for the supervisor or the town board members. There will be, you'll see in this, small increases for our lowest paid employees. We have a history of losing these people after we have trained them, and we need to stop that. We're going to be maintaining the funding for the roads. I have proposed increasing the drainage budget to include two important areas. We're going to, in addition to the regular drainage work, I proposed a study area of the Vernon Road Marketplace area. That area needs to be looked at, has had severe problems over the years. And secondly, a townwide study, specifically the areas of Mud Creek and Bulmer Creek area. Those have been problem areas for a number of years. And I'm looking for a little more comprehensive approach rather than just do it one backyard at a time. We've talked about a new roof for this building for years. Clerk has put it in her budget and unfortunately has been acted on, and I'm submitting the figure we had for an estimate of $200,000 for the roof. There are going to be increased for utility costs, just like we have at our houses. There are increased costs for health insurance for active and retirees. The legacy cost of health insurance is becoming a major budget item as the number of retirees grows. Depending on the age, marital status, and life expectancy of a retiree, the town can expect to spend $600,000 to over $1 million per employee for the health insurance after they have left their employment with the town. Next item is we're going to be maintaining funding for the volunteer fire departments and ambulance, and continuing our diligence in paying attention to our whole computer systems here, and paying attention to our cybersecurity needs. So that being said, we have a motion and a second. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carr.
Yes.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Picallo,
Aye.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, item is adopted. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the review of the supervisor's budget. I think, Wayne, you have the capability of putting that up. Okay, obviously, the first item that's on there is the biggest item. That's the payroll, basically, for the supervisor and the secretary. That's flat for the supervisor. The second line, second biggest part of that is the secretarial position. I put in for a very modest increase for that position. Last year, I put an increase. It was declined by this body. I'm back again for a small increase for that position. The contractual expense, most of that is supplies. You can see that's was last year a $2,000 budget item, and I'm proposing $1,500. So far to date, we're a little over $1,000, so we're well within those new lower numbers. Postage, self-explanatory, rates went up. And my proposal is to have it go back to the traditional budget items of 2019 and 2020, which was in the low 200s area. So I adjusted it to 300 just due to the fact of the postal rates going up. So that being said, any questions from the board members? Okay, thank you. Okay, next item is the town board budget. Okay, obviously the biggest item is the payroll for the 4 council people. So you can see that that's a 46.3. Next item is the contractual. Contractual is primarily fiscal advisors and the newspaper notices, which obviously we have to do. And again, this year to date, we're at 13,500. So the adjustment based on not the what do they call old numbers, but using the new numbers, this 17,000 is well under what we've actually spent for this year, or expect to spend. Any questions on the town board line? Okay, thank you. Okay, Kate, you're up.
Okay, hi. Just to explain the engineering budget, the first line is my salary. The second line is the contractual expenses, which includes postage, mileage. For example, also it paid for, just happened this week, the landfill monitoring. There had to be sampling to test the groundwater at our landfill on Ferguson Road. That comes out of the budget, and any other miscellaneous things that come up. One thing that we're going to do with that money is we'd like to purchase a GPS device so we can do GIS, or do our own mapping. Right now, we're dependent on the county, and we have a responsibility for stormwater mapping. So we're going to try to do that in-house. It will also help with the codes department maintaining the zoning map. That's also, we have to go to the county for that. So that's something Wayne and I are looking into, and will come out of that budget. Then the outside engineer fee is if other random things that could come up. And also once in a while, I need to consult with someone on some technical issues. And we have a contract with Ramble. So sometimes I call them just to hash out a couple of items. So that is my budget. Does anyone have any questions?
On the landfill, you were required to have an outside lab do the testing.
Yes, they just do the testing and then I write up the report and submit it to DEC. It's due every year in December.
How much have we spent on the outside engineer this year?
$1,008.
Any further questions on the engineer budget? Thank you very much. Okay, legal budget, Alka?
Wasn't me. That wasn't either. Legal, everybody's favorite topic. It costs a lot. Every time we turn around, there's something legal involved. But our budget that we're presenting this year is $3,000 less than our current budget for last year. Year to date, we've spent about $67,000. I do expect additional costs to come in this year for specifically negotiations with the CSEA and other things that always seem to come up. But we're pretty online with budgeting for what we had budgeted last year.
67,000 total so far this year?
Yes,
All the incurred expenses have not been billed. I mean, there are bills out there that you just don't have the billing yet, right?
correct.
Right.
And we also still have 3 additional months of the retainer.
Okay, so you're correct. We have the CSEA coming up next year. We have the Teamsters and hopefully the police contract can start to be worked on before we get to the end of the contract. So hopefully that will be starting to come up. So we have 1 in play right now and 2 coming. Any questions on this item?
No questions. I just had a comment on the format and I appreciate it. It is, Mr. Supervisor and our comptroller, much easier to read.
And I think you'll appreciate the Excel format too, that
Okay, thank you. Okay, the now we have a full agenda coming up the next meeting on the 13th, and that's why I decided to move some of these items that are coming up, 8 through 12, because we have a full vote coming up on the 13th. And that being said, we also have a ZBA meeting coming up, which is going to take up one of our meeting evenings. We have Columbus Day. So my colleagues have asked me a couple times to give them a heads up on what it looks like on the calendar. So we don't have anything booked at this point, but pencil in, please, October 18th and 25th. And then we'll look at those and see how they're coming. So next item is number 8, Nancy.
Approve the hiring of Zach Hyde as apprentice MEO probation. Whereas the Highway Department is in need to fill a position after recent retirement. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board approves Zach Hyde as an apprentice MEO probation at a pay rate of $26.54 per hour with a start date of November 1st, 2021.
Second.
Second, Ms. Boyke, discussion on number 8. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carr,
Yes.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo,
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, item is adopted. Nancy?
Town board purchase approval for the following equipment purchase with trade-in. Whereas the highway department will purchase a Bobcat mini excavator for $76,277.84 and trade in the 2018 Bobcat mini excavator amount, a negative $54,500, for a total of $21,777.84. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board approves the purchase from Clark Equipment Company, DBA Bobcat Company, in the amount of $21,777.84 from account code DB 51302, state contract number PC 67141.
Second.
Boyke, discussion on number 9. Clerk will call the roll.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry,
Did you have something there?
just
Sure.
quickly.
Okay, shoot.
I went out and spoke with our supervisor, our highway supervisor. The guys did a great job in getting this together, talking to the company, trading in this equipment that isn't really all that old, but we're getting brand new equipment for like the cost of one piece of equipment. So they did a great job, and I think they deserve a attaboy for that.
Does this come with the attachments or we already have those?
With the skid steer, which is the next item up, all the attachments will fit in. Any, it's a pitching bucket and
Okay, thank you. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carr.
yes,
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo.
Aye.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, item is adopted. Nancy?
Town Board purchase approval for the following equipment purchased with trade-in. Whereas the Highway Department will purchase a Bobcat skid steer for $64,686.91 and trade in the 2014 Bobcat skid steer amount, -$26,000, for a total amount of $38,686.91. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board approves the purchase from Clark Equipment Company, DBA Bobcat Company, in the amount of $38,686.91 from account code DB 51302, state contract PC 67141.
Second.
Second, Ms. Bacallo. Discussion? Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carr.
yes,
Counselor White.
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo.
Aye.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, thank you. Item is adopted. Nancy?
Town Board approval to purchase 16-ton trailer. Whereas the Highway Department is in need of a 16-ton felling tilt trailer. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board approves the purchase of a 16-ton felling tilt trailer from Tracy Road Equipment in the amount of $15,000 from account code DB 51302, state contract number PC 67141.
Second.
Mr. Bacallo. Discussion on number 11. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carr.
yes,
Counselor White.
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo.
Aye.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, thank you. Next item, number 12. Nancy?
Town Board approval for the purchase of concrete mix and hauling. Whereas the Highway Department needs to pour the concrete slab under the future lean-to store equipment and supplies. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board approves the purchase of approximately 80 yards of concrete mix with hauling from Northern Ready Mix LLC, Vaselli, in the amount of $15,000 from account code DB 51323, county contract number 4069, and be it further resolved that the labor will be done by the Town of Cicero Highway Department.
Second.
Boyke, discussion on number 12. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carr.
yes,
Counselor White.
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo.
Aye.
Supervisor Myers.
Aye. Item is adopted. Thank you. Discussion, Judy?
Yes. Just a reminder that we're set up for tomorrow night with the public participation in regards to the Route 31 DOT project. I spoke with the DOT rep today and they are prepared. They will be bringing handouts. They will also have folks on hand to answer questions. Plus, if there are other questions or concerns, you will be able to write them down and turn them in at that time. It's from 6 to 8 in the new highway garage.
Thank you. Any other board members? Okay, public input?
Joyce Villeneuve, Ontario Ave. Would like to request that you put the section 271 of the law online before the public hearing on the 13th. I've looked through the code and I can't find that section. I'd also like to see the section of the town or state law that allows the town board to subpoena somebody. I can't find that either. Thank you.
Ms. Donat, I've heard you saying it. I'm going to refer that to the town attorney because I don't know, I can't do the research myself on that, okay?
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
Okay, further comments? Yes? Could you please go to the microphone?
Okay, I'm Rose Sinopoli. I live at 6471 East Taft Road, town of Cicero, but it's Eastern New York. And I really just wanted to ask you if you could just repeat what you said when you were talking about drainage. You mentioned 2 areas, and I didn't get those 2 areas. It was a Mud Creek.
The 2 areas that I mentioned was the Vernon Road area and then immediately downstream. And then the second area would be Mud Creek and Volmer Creek.
That's what I want. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Any further comment?
I just had a quick comment, Mr.
Sure.
Supervisor. I commend you again. In the past, these special meetings, there was no public input. So I commend you for having public input during this special meeting.
Okay, the next meeting is October 13th at 6:30. Move to adjourn.
Second.
Voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. See you under 13.